Architect.
Journalist.
Psychology.
Medicine. Musician.
Law.
Impaired by drink.
Drank myself into a blackout.
Physically and alcohol.
Picking somebody up out of the water.
Far too much, too often.
This is the Waterford Coast Guard Search and Rescue Base.
Is there anyone with her?
I'm a line captain here, commander of the aircraft. It's a Sikorsky 61. For search and rescue, the 61 is just perfect. It's big, it's stable, you can fly in 60, 70, 80 knot winds. There isn't a huge rank structure here. It's a case of I sign for the aircraft and I'm responsible for it, but every decision that's made is made as a crew. My responsibility as captain is to get them all back in one piece. Everything is based on trust. The most vulnerable person in the whole crew would be the winchman, because if you think about it, he's dangling down up to 300 feet below the aircraft, trusting me that I'm on the ball, not tired, and flying well to keep him safe. So you have to be on the ball when you walk in here, because if you're not, you can actually endanger somebody. When I was about 18 or 19, all I wanted to do was economics and business or something. Didn't get the points that I wanted in school, just didn't work hard enough. And I heard an ad on a radio for half an hour in a helicopter. Went up in the helicopter, that was it. I was just hooked. Most people kind of go, oh my God, because it looks like there's so many buttons and dials and everything, but it just takes a little bit of coordination. This is the captain's seat here. Co-pilot's is over there. So the main controls here, this is called a cyclic. So if you want to put the nose of the helicopter forward, you dip that forward, back, it's obviously back, and left and right. This is called a collective here. That's actually to climb the helicopter. So if you want to climb, you pull the helicopter up, and descend, pull the helicopter down. The last thing you have then is pedals down here. If I want the nose of the helicopter to come left, the left pedal in. And if I want the nose of the helicopter to come back right, put the right pedal in. There's so many variables in this job. Like when we get a call here, the Coast Guard to ring up and say, you know, there's a person injured, fallen off a cliff, whatever, Dublin or something like that. You have to, in about 2 or 3 minutes, make that decision of, yeah, can we go there, can we get back, and what fuel do I need? We can go and pick everybody up and save loads of people, but there's no point in us doing that if we can't get back. You just have to be able to think on your feet and also think of consequences of making a decision. You have to be able to get back to land. I'm doing this about 15 years now, which is a fair amount of time, but it doesn't make any difference. It'll still kick you in the ass. Like it really will. You'll go along and you'll do loads of really, really good jobs, and then one time you'll just get a kick in the ass and it kind of wakes you up to say you can't relax. The thing that I find the hardest is everybody thinks it isn't going to happen to them. And again, you're picking somebody up out of the water. Probably don't think so much about the casualties, because you can't afford to. Because sometimes you might pick somebody up and you have another 2 or 3 hours transit with a badly injured casualty or a body in the back, and when you drop them off to a hospital or bring them back here or whatever, you've got to just, once that flight is over, just turn the page and move on. And you can't really think about it too much. Like we have loads of systems here within the company where we have like a stress debriefing, and we debrief after every flight anyway. We have counsellors that come in, but there's a bit of a kind of tradition that we would tend to actually go for a couple of drinks. It's a less formal kind of way of actually just talking about things. We all act a bit tough. We've all seen kind of a lot of, not very pleasant sights over the years. So we wouldn't tend to open up too much on our feelings sitting here in the middle of the crew room. Whereas, you go to the pub, you have a couple of drinks, you talk about things. Irish society, we do tend to turn to drink in the pubs at times for that. But the main thing for us is we have to know when to cut that off, because the consequences are too great. And there is a time that you absolutely have to say, look, I'm having my 1 or 2 drinks and that's it, absolutely it. Like, I love a few drinks, but I wouldn't ever want to risk this job or the people in it, because I think I care about it and love it too much. It's a very rewarding job. I have loads of time off, very well paid. It's a huge adrenaline buzz. And I know if I was either excessive with alcohol or excessive with anything else, or don't actually look after myself, that would actually jeopardise my job and the position I'm in here, and as well as, the crew and the people I'm working with. I just wouldn't even think about it. Balance is everything in this job. You need to look after your crew and your job and get them all back in one piece.
it's a very sociable thing in Ireland, I suppose, to go down to the pub and just have a drink with some friends. But I don't think it needs to be relied on as heavily as it is.
You always have to know when to stop and when you've gone too far, and balance is very important. Like, you know, you have to know your limits.
You have to be able to balance yourself and know where the line is, you know, where you draw the line and things like that.
You need to know at the end of the day what you can do, what you can't do. You need to know what's right and what's wrong.
Having a balance of different things can change your outlook on life.
I think you always have to have the one-too-many to know what the one-too-many is. I mean, I think that's going to be different for everyone.